This is a special edition of K2 News on your side.
A Yamhill County Sheriff's deputy resigned and appeared in court today. He faces several charges, including public indecency and disorderly conduct. Good evening. Thanks for joining us for this digital edition of K2 News, everybody. I'm Steve Dunn.
And I'm Rick Asway. Attorneys say David Mills created and posted pornography online for profit. K2's Megan Allison joins us live outside the courthouse in McMinnville. Megan, what's next in this case?
Well, right. Mills was released today on several conditions, and one of those is he cannot be seen publicly in law enforcement insignia. He'll be back in court for his first hearing in January. Until then, there are still a lot of unanswered questions. The Yamhill County Sheriff's Office tells us they were first alerted when a community member expressed concern over online content depicting a staff member in uniform and on county property. Court records show those images include the deputy touching himself in a patrol car. After the initial complaint, the Washington County Sheriff's Office conducted a criminal investigation. That was then reviewed by Benton County, and charges were filed on December 14th.
In this case, the state is alleging a public safety officer while in uniform violated that public trust by creating and posting pornography online for profit. With the resignation of David Mills this morning, his ability to violate that public trust has been greatly reduced, so the state is not opposed to his release under the following conditions.
Staff with the Yamhill County Sheriff's Office tell us an internal affairs investigation is underway to evaluate violations of department or county policies. In a statement, they went on to say, as law enforcement professionals, we understand it is our responsibility to live up to the standards and expectations placed upon us. I did reach out to the Benton County District Attorney's Office to ask why it took so long to file charges, and we're still waiting to hear back. So I'll make sure to follow up in the days ahead. Live in McMinnville, Megan Allison, K2 News.
Megan, thank you for that. Now to a K2 crime alert. A Portland foot doctor is accused of sexually abusing multiple patients. Portland police say Brian Bowen inappropriately touched two women during exams at Eastside Foot and Ankle in Northeast Portland. They say the first victim reported the abuse occurred in May of last year. The second victim came forward in January of this year. Bowen was indicted earlier this month and made his first court appearance on Friday. Police believe there are additional victims and are asking anyone with information about Bowen to contact them.
Tonight, we're working to learn the names of the two police officers who shot and killed a man in Hillsborough. Police tell us the man made statements that he was armed and took a woman hostage when the two Hillsborough officers fired. The man was pronounced dead at the scene. His identity has not been released. Both officers have been placed on paid administrative leave per department policy. The Washington County Major Crimes Team is now investigating. Well, Oregon is second only to California when it comes to unsheltered homelessness nationwide. That's according to the latest point-in-time data count.
K2's Christina Giardinelli looked into that report today. She's live for us in Salem. Christina, the Department of Housing and Urban Development compiled the numbers from every state.
Yeah, that's right. HUD requires a one-time count. It's usually done in January. According to those numbers from 2021 to 2023, Oregon saw an increase in unsheltered homelessness of almost 5%.
Every night, thousands of Oregonians go to sleep without a roof over their head. The latest point-in-time count data shows that number is increasing. Jimmy Jones, executive director of the Mid-Willamette Valley Community Action Agency, says it's a sad but not surprising reality.
I think a lot of us who've been doing the work expected this, after the pandemic, and we have been warning people for a long time after the pandemic, but with each passing opportunity we get to measure the population, it continues to grow, unfortunately.
Oregon Governor Tina Kotek says that growth was likely caused by the pandemic.
We had a challenge before the pandemic started, and it just exacerbated it, right? If you were homeless in 2019, as you had just, ended up having to be on the streets, and then you were said, okay, just wait for 3 years, live in your tent for 3 years, that level of chronic homelessness is very difficult to build your way out of.
Kotek says it's going to take time to recover from those pandemic challenges. Jones says it's going to take a stable source of funding. Coming up at 8 p.m., the homeless demographic that's causing Oregon to be #1 in the nation, and not for a good reason. Live in Salem, Christina Giardinelli, K2 News.
The legislature did put forth a very strong state budget for our schools, but we're dealing with compensation issues about what educators should be paid.
Governor Tina Kotek says the 3-week strike at Portland Public Schools highlighted the need to reevaluate the state's funding formula for school districts and also for more transparency in how districts are spending their money. K2's Emily Gersh is live in Portland now. And Emily, you know from covering the strike that the amount of money the district thought they had, the amount the union thought they had were two different numbers. What's the governor's plan to prevent misunderstandings going forward?
Yes, Steve. Well, the governor says the state is going to create a transparency website for school districts that will show what money is available and what money is being spent to eliminate confusion. The November strike at Portland Public Schools had tense moments of distrust and confusion over what money the district had available to pay teachers. Governor Tina Kotek ultimately sent in the state's chief financial officer to make sure the district and the union were looking at the same set of numbers. The strike also fueled debate over how the state funds schools in its budget. The governor says the legislature passed a strong budget for the state school fund in March, but says she learned during the strike that perhaps the formula they use needs revision. She says this is a conversation she will take up with the legislature in the February session.
So there's a task force that legislators have put together to look at base salaries, and maybe a statewide salary schedule to support our incoming teachers. So certainty, predictability, upgrading the formula. So when we go into the 25 session, we will understand what school districts need for the next biennium, and it might be more, I would anticipate it'll be more resources. And so we have to say, well, where are we going to get that?
Now, the governor says she has some ideas on funding sources, but again, she says this is something the legislature will discuss in the February session. Live in Portland, Emily Gersh, K2 News.
All right, Emily, thank you. And you can watch our full sit-down interview with Governor Kotek this Sunday on Your Voice, Your Vote, 9 a.m. right here on K2.
If you're heading out of town for the holidays, today would be a great day to hit the road. Here's a live look from ODOT cameras. Traffic, for the most part, has been light all day. That will change as we get later into the week. In fact, AAA expects a near record number of people to travel by car over the holiday period. Nationwide, that's about 104 million people. In Oregon, it's about 1.4 million. AAA says the busiest days to be on the road will be Saturday, December 23rd and Thursday, December 28th, as people head to and from their Christmas destinations. The best time to travel on those days is before 10 a.m. The worst time to travel is between 11 a.m. and 7 p.m.
It can be a stressful time of year to travel, so getting a llama hug can kind of alleviate all the tension.
Therapy Llamas, Prince and Benny greeted passengers today at PDX Airport, expecting a busy week with a nearly 20% increase in travelers this holiday season compared to last year. The Llamas posed for pictures and received a lot of carrot kisses. Their handlers say they're a fun surprise during what can be a stressful time there at the airport.
It's the most fun to see everyone's reactions because you go from stress and concentrated trying to get to your gate on time to looking up and just seeing these 400-pound fluffs walking right by you. So it goes from this sense of discomfort to instant joy and excitement and curiosity.
Today was the Llama's last day at PDX, but on Wednesday, therapy dogs from Dove Lewis will be there providing comfort and cheer. Wednesday through Friday are expected to be the busiest days of the holiday travel at the airport, with more than 50,000 people flying in and out each year.
Do llamas go through the metal detector or the other thing we have to?
That's a good question.
Good question.
Need to investigate
Ask TSA.
Yeah.
I should ask.
How we doing, Dave?
Weather looks good.
So far, so good. If you're traveling this week on the West Coast, looks pretty darn good. I-5 corridor up over the Cascades into central eastern Oregon. For the most part, dry skies. Got a few showers out there right now. As you can see, there's a look at radar this hour and nothing in the immediate Portland, Vancouver area. We are seeing a few showers, though, on the Oregon coast and some showers popping up in parts of western Washington, but mainly north of the Olympia area. And because we've got a system moving online, we do have some watches and warnings to talk about. Again, nothing along the I-5 corridor. But up in the Washington Cascades now through tomorrow, there is a winter weather advisory there for some snow possibilities overnight tonight through about midday tomorrow. Also on the east side of the Cascades, way out in parts of eastern Oregon, we do have an air stagnation advisory. That's going to stay posted overnight tonight and likely through tomorrow as well. So our top three things to note. Number one, cloudy and damp skies are returning back across the region. Tomorrow morning early in parts of the gorge, now we're talking mainly in higher elevations of the Hood River Valley above above Hood River. May see some freezing drizzle up there. Keep an eye on that. And the overall trend is for the latter half of the week, looking at some cooler temperatures by the latter part of the week and going in towards the weekend. By cooler, we're talking temperatures still above freezing, but cooler than what they have been the past few days across the area. Out there this hour, again, we have overcast skies. It is 46 degrees. East-southeast winds at 14 miles an hour, but much stronger winds out towards the west end of the gorge. 45, the current numbers now from our live C-Tran camera up on top of the Vancouver Library. Here are the highs today for you, just 35 out in Pendleton, but 50 this afternoon for Redmond, 46 in Salem, 48 across the bridge in Vancouver, 54 for Tillamook, same numbers down in Newport today. Satellite map again, got a broad trough of low pressure across the area. Got this little area of low pressure right down here, up off the California coastline. That's going to be moving north tonight and through tomorrow. So with that, of course, we have the increased cloud cover, but also a little bit of light rain coming out of this guy. So again, some light rain showers tonight and through tomorrow on Tuesday as well. Here's the hour-by-hour forecast. Does a very good job with this. There we are tomorrow morning around 9:30. We've got rain up and down the I-5 corridor. Again, Willamette Valley. Rain in the Cascades up to about 7,000 feet. Snow level's going to be pretty high the next few days there. We go in towards Tuesday afternoon. Rain is winding down. There we are Wednesday morning. Dry skies out there, and skies will stay dry from Wednesday through Thursday and from Thursday into Friday as well. May see some showers getting back into the area late in the day on Friday. I have another cold front approaching there by late Thursday. Could bring a few rain showers in. We'll have to keep an eye on that for you for Friday morning. But again, it will be liquid precipitation, not frozen precipitation across western Oregon. How much rain on the way? Well, next 24 to 48 hours, we're talking maybe upwards of 2 to 3/10 of an inch in most locations, a little bit more, I think, off towards the Coast Range and up into the Cascade foothills. So your forecast tomorrow, on Tuesday, cloudy skies and rain. 54 for your high for Astoria, 55 for Ilwaco, and 57 for both Lincoln City and also in Tillamook. Warm temperatures there tomorrow. Now for the Willamette Valley, cloudy skies and rain, 54 for Salem again. Nice numbers for this time of the year, 53 for McMinnville and 52 out east in the Trout area, but still dealing with some east winds out towards the west end of the gorge. Outside of that, we have southerly winds in the Willamette Valley. Gorge and the Cascades, here things get a bit tricky. So cloudy skies and rain at the floor of the gorge. Again, maybe some freezing drizzle tomorrow morning up in parts of the Hood River Valley. Snow level in the Cascades tomorrow about 7,000 feet, hence that 44-degree temperature tomorrow for Government Camp, 43 for both the Dalles and also for Hood River. And then on the east side, mostly cloudy skies, some areas of freezing drizzle tomorrow morning possible, and then we'll see rain showers by the afternoon. High tomorrow for Pendleton, 50, same thing for Bend, and 46 tomorrow in Burns. Here's the 7-day forecast, including Christmas Day. And as you can see, temperatures in the 50s through about Thursday. Speaking of Thursday, it is the first day of winter at 7:27 p.m. And going into next Monday, Christmas Day, got a few rain showers, but 47 for your high. And early morning temperatures, about 35, 36 degrees on Christmas Eve and on Christmas Day.
Hey, did you get down to that ice rink down there downtown by chance?
I have not gotten down to go skating down there.
You know who did?
You did?
I did, yeah.
And?
It was packed. It was
Good.
packed.
Are you in this video?
I don't think I'm in this video because it was dark, but Portland's winter ice rink, it did open this weekend and appeared to have a pretty big turnout. The rink is at the west end of the Morrison Bridge right along Nadeau Parkway. It's open 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day through the end of December with 6 skating sessions daily. In January, it will be open Wednesdays through Sundays. It's a good time. Can you ice skate?
No.
Do you ice skate?
No, I have before. When I was a kid, but I would just absolutely wipe out. Now, it would be ugly. The last one was built in Pioneer Courthouse Square in 1989. Here's a look back at the K2 archives.
Christmas time at Pioneer Courthouse Square began while most of us were probably still finishing off the Thanksgiving leftovers. Construction started early this week on downtown Portland's first skating rink. The cold weather we've had may have helped some Portlanders get ready to celebrate the season on ice, and is just what the ice maker ordered.
When it's cold like this, it takes a tremendous load off of us time-wise. We'd like to see the weather obviously below 32 degrees. It would assist greatly in making the ice.
But it doesn't have to be cold to make ice. It can be done in warm weather using about 200 gallons of coolant that's just like the antifreeze that keeps your car radiator from freezing. The fluid is run through a system of tubes at a temperature between 15 and 20 degrees. First spraying of water freezes onto the tubes, and then more layers are added until the ice is about 4 inches thick. It's important to make sure there aren't any hot spots in the tubing that could create soft areas in the ice. The tubing is designed to maintain an even temperature everywhere under the ice. All the rink needs now are skaters.
You can watch more of K2 in the archives on our YouTube channel. We just posted another story from the late 70s when the lights were almost forced off on Peacock Lane due to the energy crisis. That's a good story. Check it out.
Thanks for joining us for this digital edition of K2 News at 5. We'll see you back on the air after Monday Night Football, the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Go Hawks. See you later, folks.